Good evening. On behalf of the college headmaster, Mr. Damien Miller, I would like to welcome you to the 2018 Information Evening at St. Gregory College, Campbelltown. My name is Matt Stimson and I am a Year 12 boarder from Temora, New South Wales. In cooperation with Jack Kelly, who is also from Wagga Wagga, we will be your MCing for this evening. As it is customary at St. Gregory's College, let us begin our gathering this evening in prayer.
We pause to remember the uniqueness of this place. We honour and respect the generations of the Tharawal people who held this land in their dreaming. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, we gather this evening as teachers and parents, making decisions for the young people in our care. May our decisions be marked by wisdom and compassion, understanding and hope. Guide us in our meeting that we may work together in gentleness and simplicity, and as a family, which is the Marist way. St. Marston Champagnat, pray for us. May our good mother, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. 2018 begins an exciting new chapter in the St. Gregory's College story. To introduce our evening, please welcome the college Mr. Damien Miller to give his address.
Thanks, Jack. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to St Gregory's. And this is a fairly significant night for us. We talk about the junior school of St Greg's. We've never talked about this before. So the fact that it is historical tonight and you're part of that first audience. As some of you would know, we had a briefing meeting last year at the end of the year, but tonight is that first time. But before I talk about the junior school, I'd just like to say thank you and explain about our band. They've come tonight. We've been to the swimming carnival all day, hence they're not in their full school uniform, and also the lady who is conducting them as well. They've been down at the carnival all day. So I'm very appreciative of the fact they've actually come out tonight and played for you. And I'm sure you would have enjoyed the music in here and in the foyer. Yes, you could have heard it well and truly, but I'm sure it was great in here for you. So I thank them. But also we've got a number of other staff members around here tonight as well. Mr Matthew Brennan, the Deputy Headmaster of the school, he's here. And you will see these people floating around during the night. Mrs Kathy Clark, Director of Mission, she is also here. Mrs Louise Miller, who's our Director of Teaching and Learning, another one. Mrs Catherine Jeffcoat, who's the Foundation Chairperson. Mrs Sue Dean, the Parent Liaison. And Miss Sandra Landrigan, who looks after the college shop for noon for us. So they're here, and that's where our uniforms have come from. Behind me on the stage, I have Kate Stott, who's the college registrar, and she would have been the person who you've been contacting, and Mr Joel Weeks, who's going to be the head of the new junior school. Just to give you some information, Joel has come to us this year, and he is working on your behalf already and getting the junior school established. He has come from Moreton Bay College in Queensland, where he was head of the junior boys school. So he comes with some letters after his name, and we're very excited about having him here because he'll tell you himself he sees this as a great challenge and he's very excited about taking that up. Just from my point of view, the school is a K-12 school, that's what we're looking at, and as you know it's a K-6 co-ed school, and then it's a boys school from 7 to 12. But it is St Gregory's College total. St Gregory's College is a Catholic school, but it has the Marist flavour through it. And the Marist values you would see permeating through the college, hopefully, in the people you meet here tonight. Everything we do and say, I would hope those values are very evident to you. And the main, I suppose, thinking behind the Marist charism is that Marsden wanted to make Jesus known and loved to all the students. And how we do that is by using those Marist values on a daily basis here. Just to give you the history behind it, where it has come from and put it in context for you, the Marist brothers and the diocese decided they needed an extra primary school in this area, and I'm sure many of you know that many of these schools are full to capacity in the primaries, and hence why this school has been put on the drawing boards for us. We started this project back in November last year, and we've been working on buildings and how we're going to make it all come alive for that whole period. Where we're up to at the moment, we obviously have the designs of the building down there. We have an architect on board who has also been working hard to get the DA approved. There's been a bit of a hold up with that from the point of view that Camden Council are looking after us, but then they had a state planning commission come over the top of that. And we've been told that we're looking around the 10th of March to hopefully get that final approval on it. We already have a number of builders lined up and they are ready to go. We're just talking to them about price at the moment, but we've also said it is a 35-week build, so it has to be ready for the end of the year. We want to start next year without any demountables. We want to start that building with the bricks and everything in place. And what we're looking at is that there will be at least 8 rooms in this building, and what I'm looking at the moment are 2 classes in K, 2 in 1 and 2 in 2. That doesn't mean that I rule out anything else. As I was saying to some people, it's a deck of cards for us at the moment because we don't know how many enrolments we're going to get. I will ask Joel to address you and then Kate, and I'll come back at the end and I'll give you a bit more information about that and where we're sort of looking at our planning with it. But what they tell you might help you in your planning and what your thoughts on things are as well. So without any further ado, I'll introduce Joel to you as the head of the junior school.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I thought I might introduce myself. I am Mr. Joel Weeks, and I have travelled down from Moreton Bay in Queensland. I initially started off in Sydney. I'm a Sydney born and bred. Just went down, I used to go down the road to Mount Carmel High School. So always lived in Macarthur, family in the region, and we've come home. So stars kind of aligned when the role at St Greg's came up, and it's every educational leader's dream of actually building their own school, I think. So for me to actually be a part of that and actually be a part of this whole process is quite interesting. It's exciting, and I'm looking forward to the road ahead. I've been here just on a month, and in talking to the staff, talking to some of the boys around, and some of the parents I've met of the high school boys, this is what I've heard. Welcome to our beautiful school. I keep hearing it. I heard it tonight. There's a lovely lady who came up to listen to her son play in the band. She said to me, welcome to our beautiful school, or welcome to our school. And that word our means something to me. When I was looking at a school, I was looking for a school that aligned with my values. And knowing what St Greg's is like and being on the sports field and playing against St Greg's in my early days, they had that reputation of being a sports school. But it's more than that. Working here for the last month has shown me that it is about holistic education. It's not just about academic rigour or playing on the sports field. It's about opportunities, and that's what we hope that is going to be driven in the junior school. We want boys and girls coming to the school for that Marist education, but we want them to have the opportunities to grow into that holistic learner. This is the purpose or the vision of St Greg's College. It says up there, our purpose is to provide and promote a holistic education which strives to bring out the best in our students. That's going to be no different in the junior school. We're one school, we've all got the same vision, we're just looking at different age brackets. Let's talk about RE, let's talk about religion for a little bit. The religious life of the school, we're going to be aligned to the parish at St Mary MacKillop down in Oran Park. Father David, who couldn't be here tonight, I've got a video of him in just a moment, he wants to introduce himself. He will be a part of our RE program at some point in time. How involved is we're still working through that, but he will be a part of it. As you know, through what Damien just said, we're a Catholic school. It's built upon the Marist vision, and our sacramental program will be run through Oran Park, but those families who are a part of different churches, the sacramental program can be a part of those different churches. Okay, it won't be exclusive. Here are the parish boundaries. For those of you who've looked at our boards on the side, you've actually had a look at where the Oran Park community has come from, and the way that the school was designed was to cater for all those buildings that are out over the horizon there. Okay, I'm going to stop for a moment, and we've got a visitor here tonight in Kevin Wright. Kevin might give you a wave. Kevin is from Oran Park. He's from Mary MacKillop. Now, if you have any questions about the parish or anything about the church, he has some information here tonight, and he'd be more than happy to talk to you later on about that. But before I go on, I might just put Father David on for a moment. He's got a bit of a talk for you, and just to introduce him.
Hi everyone, it's Father David, the parish priest of St Mary MacKillop here in Oran Park. I'm so sorry I can't join you tonight for the enrolment evening, but through the joys of modern technology, I'm joining you this evening. As many of you would know, living here now in this area of Gregory Hills, Oran Park and the surrounding suburbs, it's continuing to grow. And this parish of St Mary MacKillop that was founded 18 months ago began with about 23 parishioners at our Northern Mass Centre, and now over 2 Mass Centres, including the one here at Oran Park. Sometimes up to 900 people are gathering for the celebration of Mass over 4 Masses on a weekend. The junior school up there at St Greg's is going to be another asset to Catholic education here in this ever-growing area in the Macarthur. And I especially join with Mara Schools Australia, with Damien Miller, with Joel Weeks, in welcoming you to this very important evening. I'm so excited that the parish of Oran Park is working already in partnership with St Greg's to make the junior school the best Catholic school that it can be here in the Macarthur. At the end of tonight, along with your enrolment pack, Kevin Wright, who's our pastoral associate, is going to be also present here among you. Kevin will have some more information on the parish, and we're really encouraging you to pick up some of that information that will also be found in your enrolment pack. I really look forward to working with you, with your young people, with the school community of the junior school at St Greg's at this new beginning and as we continue to grow. May Marcellin Champagnon and Mary MacKillop continue to intercede for us. God bless you.
Father David. For those of you who know Father David, he's a lively fella, he's an energetic fella, and he's a lovely guy. And I'm glad that he's going to be a part of our school. And the thing I love about Father David is that he caters for the children really well. He's very age appropriate the way he speaks to them. So looking forward to working with Father David. This is what my vision for the school. I want to build a learning community, and I don't want it to be about these 6 things. I want us to collaborate. I had my children in 2 different schools. One collaborated and communicated very well, one not so. One made us feel part of a community, one not so. I want to have that community where parents know exactly what's going on, where parents feel they can come into the classrooms, where parents are a part of the community, and that's where we come in and collaborate together. I want us to learn together. One of my passions is teaching and learning. Back in my Newington days, I was director of teaching and learning. Driving curriculum is so important to me, and having good structured classrooms that are focused on literacy and numeracy and getting children to inquire is what I'm all about. We're going to do a lot of reflection next year. Having a school for the first time, we're going to put things in place, or I'm going to put things in place, and the teacher's going to have to come in and actually get on board. But in saying that, I want them to have some ownership. So there's going to be times where we're going to have to reflect on what we've done, what's worked well, what hasn't worked well, and what we do better next time. So reflection is going to be really important. Primary school should be about fun. It should be enjoyable. Boys and girls should want to come to school. So we're going to have a laugh. We're going to enjoy ourselves next year. We're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate the year next year, celebrate together. And there's going to be a whole heap of change. So let's do that together. Curriculum's a funny one. This year my job is to actually design the curriculum for teachers so when we employ them later down the track, they've got something to come into. For me, it's going to be a broad brush approach at the moment because it's my job to actually get that ready for you this year. But there are 4 things that I want to make sure that are critical to the curriculum that's designed. The first one, as I've already spoken about, is that holistic education. It's going to have academic rigour, sure, but it's about experiences, it's about growing, it's about growth. It's about knowing where the strengths and weaknesses are of the students. We're going to be developing an inquiry framework. Now, for those of you who are thinking, what does that mean? Think about it like a continuum. Back in the day when I went to school, it was very much about teacher direction. Teacher standing at the front saying, turn to page 53, exercises 1 to 6, here's some feedback. On the other end of the continuum was discovery learning, telling the children to go and learn about something, come back and just feedback to the group. It's a mixture of both. Teacher direction needs to be a part of it, but also inquiring and guidance, scaffolding, getting kids to learn and wonder and inquire and ask some questions. For those people in the room who've got young children, you'll know what I mean when they keep asking that question, why? Why do we do this? Why do we do that? When they get to school, we beat it out of them a little bit, don't we? Stop asking so many questions. But it's the opposite when we come to this school. I want them to ask questions. I want them to know why. I want them to feel comfortable in actually talking to teachers. Literacy and numeracy, it's going to be a massive focus. In the early years, it's paramount to actually get them to being functional members of our society. So for me, having those strong, robust literacy and numeracy frameworks early on is what I'm going to be all about. And as you've heard, we're a Marist Foundation. I want our learners to be respectful, engaged, connected globally. And in the Marist way, we're going to have strong minds and gentle hearts. Let's talk about the learning environment. We've got a new school building going up. Many of you have been out there in different Catholic schools, public schools, and seen this whole notion of open learning, open classrooms. We're not going to have that. We're going to design the building so they can be open, but it's going to be flexible learning spaces. So the teacher who has your son or who has your daughter can actually focus on their needs in a quiet environment. But then, if the classroom's going to be opened up, they can be. So the grades can come together and actually do some things together. The key learning areas don't change. NESA, who used to be the Board of Studies, have mandated these are the subject areas in primary schools that we'll teach. Only difference coming to a Catholic school is there'll be Catholicism, RE, and that's run through the Diocese of Wollongong. I'm just going to jump back for a minute. Our only difference in teaching these is that we're going to do it from a integrated approach. Call it transdisciplinary learning. Teachers who can design good units, the ones that do it really well, can actually integrate their learning very well. Teachers always complain about being time poor. Those teachers in the room, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to teach this amount of maths and this amount of literacy and so on. But the smart ones can integrate. Design good units that integrate 2 or 3 different subject areas at one time. So they're the sort of skills we're going to be learning on. This is a quote I couldn't go past. Ernest Boyer. He says, "To be truly educated, a student must also make connections across the disciplines, discover ways to integrate the separate subjects, and ultimately relate to learn to life." If we design units well, they should be meaningful, they should be authentic, and they should actually mean something in the real world for these boys and girls. And that's what engages them about learning. Literacy learning for me, as I've already said, is really important. And yes, I'm going to be designing these literacy units this year, but it's going to be based around these 4 things. My first one's about model teaching. I think teachers in the early years need to model and model well. Boys and girls need to know what it should look like, or the process of what it looks like, how to actually go about it, how to ask questions, how to solve problems. It needs to be shared. They need to do it with the students. You know, when you're teaching your son or your daughter to do something, they get it sometimes when you do it with them. It's not all about independence. It needs to be guided. I spoke about my notion of open classrooms before, coming back to being flexible learning, but I do believe in collaboration, where teachers and students come together, students come together, and hopefully we all come together. And the other one is the independence, because they need to be able to do it for themselves. We need to push them. There needs to be personalised learning, where we can have goals set for each student and know where they're going. I'll talk about the structure of the day. At this point in time, we're looking at 8:30 till 3. We're looking at the same breaks as the senior school. So those families who have secondary students, we're looking at no different. Literacy and numeracy are going to be in the morning. I don't like having literacy and numeracy in the afternoons. Prime learning time is what we're all about, and that's happening in the morning. So we're going to structure our classrooms where literacy and numeracy are front and foremost. A few parents have asked me about Munch and Crunch. For those who are thinking, what's that? It's just a fruit break. That's happening. It's about 5 hours teaching time a day, and all the logistics of specific things will come out later in the year for those students and those families who get a place at St Greg's. Technology is an interesting one. It's on the to-do list this year. What devices we go with, the way we actually structure technology. Decisions haven't been made, but it's going to be flexible, like our learning spaces. But one thing I want to say is I want to focus on the way we've actually structured technology over the past few years as educators. In that first section at the top, it talks about teaching about technology. When I came through the school system, it was about learning about the technology. So you'd have your classroom time, and the teacher would kindly go and book some laptop time or some computer time, or there'd be some desktops at the back of the room, and you actually learn about Word or PowerPoint or whatever it was. Then we moved to a phase where technology came into schools. Smart boards came in, touch screens came in some schools iPads were coming in. But it was still teaching a little bit about the technology, and it was teaching with technology. Hopefully we've moved now into an era, like the third one, which is teaching through technology, where teachers are actually designing good units of work, and whether it's the iPad, the laptop, the piece of paper and pen, it shouldn't really matter. It's about what makes good education. If that means the laptops and the iPads stay away, fair enough, and the pens and papers come out. If it means they should be getting out the iPads, the laptops, they should be Skyping other people across the world, so be it. We need to be flexible in the way we actually approach lessons. And our expectations, they don't change from being a St Greg's school. They're going to be high. If there's an issue, you're going to be communicated with quickly. I'd rather get onto things small before they actually manifest into something bigger. I want you to be communicated with. And I want each student to be proud of being a St Greg's student, big or small. Other bits of information I've tried to think about. Communication, for me that's key. The staff that will come and work here will be communicating regularly, weekly. What's happening in maths and literacy this week? What are the events that are coming up? Simple as that. That's what you need to know. What's happening in the classroom? What can I do to help my son or daughter? Throughout this process between now and the start of next year, on the website there will be a head of junior school news. Every 2 weeks I'm going to be writing a little newsletter about the updates of the junior school. Where we're up to, what's happening next, and what journey we're going on. Just so you can be updated, it'll just be a link on the website in the next couple of weeks. Uniforms, you see them here tonight. For those of you who came to the open day on Sunday, we've got a winter and a summer uniform at the front. And it's going to be interesting to see little girls wearing dresses at St Greg's. So a lot of the staff are getting quite excited. We've got some giggly ladies at the back of the hall here getting excited about little girls coming on campus. Parent forums. For those of you who are already part of the St Greg's community, know that Damien Miller, our headmaster, has parent forums quite regularly. They will be exactly the same in the junior school. Basically what it is you get to come and sit around with the headmaster and we'll be with myself, and we talk about issues, we talk about events, we talk about how things are going in the school. It's not a time to talk individually about your son or daughter, but it's about, let's talk about the school and how it's going. We want you to have ownership of what's actually happening in the school. So parent forums are a hit at St Greg's, and they'll be happening in the junior school as well. Before and after school care will be happening. So for those who need before and after school care, there is a piece of paper in your enrolment pack tonight that you get to fill out, just so we've got a bit of an idea of how many students we'll be looking at. Buildings, I think Damien has said we're up with the buildings. We're looking at 8 classrooms for next year. What that looks like is going to depend on you guys, depend on enrolments. I've spoken about the learning environment. Co-curricular, for me it's really important about making that holistic child. What co-curricular activities are going to be invited for the junior school, we don't know yet. We haven't got staff to actually be a part of that decision making, but staff will be expected to have a co-curricular activity. Whether it's a sport, whether it's a public speaking event, whether it's chess, whatever it's going to be, there's going to be plenty of opportunity for little boys and little girls to be a part of our co-curricular program at the school. And we want to be transparent. I hope you're getting that message. I want parents to be involved and know exactly what's going on. Okay, enrolment criteria. That's what we want to know. There are 8 sections. Okay, hopefully we don't need all 8 sections. Here's my advice. This is all in the enrolment pack, so I won't go through it step by step, but my advice to you is this. If you would like your son or daughter to come to this school, put an application in. Don't worry about how many people in the room or how many people out there in the community are talking. If you want to come to the school, put a pack in. Then you know you've got a chance of getting your son or daughter into school. Okay? I won't go through all of these because there are 8 of them, but it's all spelled out very easily in the packs. Okay? 5 sections of the enrolment criteria. For those of you who don't know where it is, when you head out these doors behind you and you look to your right, we've got 2 rugby fields. Then we've got a row of trees. Behind that row of trees that you see up there is our junior school. At the moment it's dirt. Nice, blank, blank canvas. But hopefully in the next month or so, we're going to start seeing some buildings happening, and that'll be a part of my communication to you about how the development's coming along. There's another beautiful view. So it is quite spacious out there. There's plenty of room for little boys and girls to run around. With our concept drawings, on our boards on the side over here, if you've had a look, there are some concept drawings. It is hard to see up here, but if you want to head down there, you'll be able to. And that is the design of the school from the outside. Okay, here's my number. I'm going to upload this to the website. There's my email. If you have any questions that you don't want to ask tonight, I will stay around tonight. Damien will be around tonight. If you want to come and ask some questions, come up, ask the question. My email's there. I'll upload it tonight to we'll get it in the next few days to the website, so you can actually contact me. I'm just going to pass you on to Kate Stott, who's going to talk a little bit about enrolment, but thanks for coming, everyone.
Hi everybody and welcome. It's a very exciting time for all of us tonight. Just going on from what Joel said, the enrolment packs which you'll be able to get when you leave here tonight are fully self-explanatory. And if we just go through the process, you're here at the enrolment information evening tonight. Take a package with you and fill in as much as you can. The more we know about your son or daughter, the better. All the applications are due back by the 9th of March with a $50 application fee. Those packages will be given straight away to Joel to look through, and interviews will be scheduled for you between the 20th to the 31st of March. Now, inside your enrolment pack, there is an interview nomination time that allows you to choose the date that suits you and the time frame that suits you, and we'll do our very best to make sure that we can get you as close to what you want as possible. After the interviews, a letter of offer will be sent for those that are successful by the 7th of April. And with that letter of offer, there will also be an acceptance package. And all the forms from the acceptance package have to be filled in. That's where we go into the more nitty-gritty about medical, more information about the child. We get that back in by the 5th of May. And then you pay your $500 enrolment fee to confirm that your child has a spot at the college. Then we'll be keeping in touch with you through the year as to more enrolment information for the parents, and like an orientation for parents, which will be around November, December, as well as orientation for the students going through to 2018. As I said before, making sure you give us as much information as possible so that we can cater for your son or daughter. One of the other things, a lot of parents like to send their applications in one of these fancy display folders when you get a whole lot of them and have to pull them all out. It's just so much easier if you put a little bulldog clip in just one plastic sleeve or a paper clip. It makes our job a lot easier too. So as I said before, the enrolment's closed on Thursday the 9th of March. You can send it in the mail or you can pop it into the office here at the college. Interviews will be held in the Donovan room, which is where you registered for the open day. And I think other than that, that is all the information I really need to give you. Thank you for attending tonight, and I'll hand you back to Mr. Miller. Thank you.
I think when I was saying to you before, we've really got 8 rooms to play with, and it really comes back to what sort of enrolments we get. If we get enough to start 2 kindergarten classes, we'll do that. If we get enough to start 2 first classes, we'll do that, and 2 second classes. That would be the optimum. That's what's planned at the moment. Now, if we do not get enough enrolments to start those, then we have to look at other ways of filling those classrooms, and that means we go one stream of K to 6. It just depends on how many enrolments we get. So I cannot give you a definite answer on that at the moment. So we're really waiting to see what sort of enrolments come in. As Kate said, we want to get the enrolments in, we want to go do all the interviews, we want to get the answers back to you by the end of the term. So that way you know exactly what's going on as well. As Joel said, he is going to do an update every fortnight in our junior school tab, and there'll be a letter there that'll update you on the developments, so we'll be able to tell you what's happening, and if you keep following that, that will help you as well. As he said, his number is there, and if you need to ring, call anything, ring him at any time, or also my secretary, Daniela Romeo, She will handle calls and get back to me as well so that I can get back to you if we have to. As Joel said, this is an exciting time for the college. The college has a great name out there in the Macarthur region. A junior school coming as part of the senior school. We want that reputation we have in the senior to be matched in the junior school. This is a really important time from the point of view we're starting with a blank canvas completely, and we can build it up from there. As Joel said, we want you involved as parents, and that's why we talked the parent forums, and that's why we had that briefing meeting at the end of last year. We took on board what you were saying about uniform. Hopefully you can see we have listened to you and put it in there. But there are other things that we're also going to need your help and your comments on. And that's part of those parent forums, that when we have those, we want parents to come along. He said it's not a situation like this. We sit around a table and we discuss things, we listen to you. I'll tell you information about what's going on, but it's about two-way communication and we need your input. As the year goes on, you'll find that we'll have another meeting definitely in November as a preview going into January, and we may even have another meeting before that. It just depends on where we're up to with enrolments and the building as well. With the building at the moment, we do have the architect, obviously. We're waiting for the DA. We do have builders in line we're talking to. They're talking about an $8 million cost. We're discussing that with the builders who put the tenders in. But at the moment we've dealt with that, we know it is a 35-week build. So except for weather, that is the only thing that will slow us down. And we want it finished by the end of December, if not earlier. How the architect and the builders do that, that's their problem. I just want it done so we can open on day one next year. The other thing I'll leave you with is that any meetings we have here at the college, we always start at 7:30. They usually don't go longer than an hour. We're well under that one tonight, but we always start at 7:30 as well, just so you know. So from our point of view, exciting night, brand new start, blank canvas. It really comes back to you working with us, telling us what you want with the enrolments, and that's where we'll go from there as well. I've also got these two gentlemen who have come over tonight to chair it. I've completely ruined their script because I've taken over most of it. So I'll ask Jack Kelly to come back out just to wind up the night for us.
That concludes the evening. I'd like to thank you on behalf of the college community for your interest in sending your child to St Gregory's College as a foundation member for the exciting junior school. Best wishes and good evening.
Okay, just two things. There's two lots of documents at the back. There is a bag for anybody who didn't attend our open day. It's just a little bag of info. It's got a couple of magazines called In Touch that we sent out from the college, and all the white envelopes are the enrolment packs. So if you'd like to grab an enrolment pack, and if you weren't here before at the open day, grab one of the paper bags as well. And we'll see you up the back. We'll be here for questions also. Thank you.